from the high desert and the great American Southwest. I bid you all good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to, once again, another edition of Midnight in the Desert. All 25 time zones, I guess there's 25 out there, covered like a blanket by this program. My name is Art Bell. Oh, boy, Fridays are for fun. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. When I was so absorbed, we had a little trouble before the show. Keith's the zip unit down there. The way this show is sent is from here to Keith by what's called a zip unit made by Telos, amazing machines. And his went belly up. It just said, I quit, I die. And so I actually thought for a while it was not going to be on the air tonight because it wasn't going to work. And then we got it working. Then I decided, well, I'm going to listen to Year of the Cat because I love the sax so much. And I got so carried away that I went right past, I did a nice time check at 57 and then zoomed right past the opening by about 10 seconds for the show. So that's probably the kind of night it's going to be tonight. It's open lines. Now, we have 3 rules on Friday nights. No bad language. 1 call per show, except at the end. When we do Fast Blast at the end of the program, all rules, let's see. Yeah, what the hell? All rules go out the window when we do Fast Blast. So there you get to say one sentence. We're going to have a Fast Blast talk tonight. A special The Talk segment for Fast Blast at the end. So let me begin with the news, and then we'll get to the weird, okay? It obviously was, as I told you the other night, it would turn out to be ISIS-inspired. If not directed, inspired. The FBI announced Friday it is investigating the mass shooting at a Southern California office party as an act of terrorism. But the agency's director said there is no indication that the slain husband and wife who killed 14 were part of a larger plot or members of a terrorist cell, per se, while authorities did not cite specific evidence that led them to the terrorism focus. U.S. Law enforcement officials revealed the wife, Tashfeen Malik, Tashfeen Malik, had under a Facebook alias pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group and its leader, just as she did as she picked up the gun to shoot people. A Facebook official said that Malik praised Islamic State and opposed at 11 a.m. Wednesday, that's when all this happened, when the couple were believed to have stormed a San Bernardino social service and opened fire. So, as I told you on Wednesday, and I tell you again tonight, it's here. It's in the homeland now. So they also destroyed hard drives in the apartment. They smashed cell phones. So obviously trying to get rid of evidence. It was interesting. The landlord in their building invited the, and there was no reason he couldn't do it, but he invited the press in. Here's how the story goes. He invited the press in, and boy, did they go in. Take pictures of the apartment. I think it had been turned over by the FBI. Nevertheless, the story goes that after he did that, a black SUV, it's always black, right? Always an SUV, pulled up, scooped up the landlord and took him away for, I don't know, a discussion? I'm not sure, whatever. As investigators search for any motive behind the deadly rampage in San Bernardino, politicians are searching for a way to talk about it. The details of the California massacre are pointing now to Islamic militants, of course, raising questions about domestic extremism, quickly knocking both Republicans and Democrats straight off their talking points, upending what has become a grim and predictable ritual in American politics. Democrats who vowed to use every mass shooting as a moment to call for new gun laws were temporarily tempering their rallying cries. Republicans, who point to mental health services as the solution, had begun to blame extremist views. Oh, this is interesting. The lighting in here is dimming. So in other words, the talking heads that normally go on CNN and Fox, either to call for confiscation of all these awful guns, are caught in a position now, since it's international terrorism, where they're not sure what to say, because it sounds a little silly to be talking about collecting all the guns, right, if this is international terrorism that, frankly, in San Bernardino, where probably nobody except the cops had guns, it might have been stopped or lessened. So those liberals had to go away and rethink their points. They're get new talking points. But the very serious side of this is it's here now. And I guess a mass shooting is a mass shooting is a mass shooting, right? In the end, people are dead. It's awful. Horrible. People have such little regard for human life, huh? And, hey girls, the government is deliberating whether to propose selective service changes that would make women eligible for the military draft. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. The White House said on Friday. They really are. The Pentagon says it will no longer bar women from combat jobs. So in other words, ladies, if war comes, you could be drafted, if this were to change, put into a uniform loaded down with usually many pounds of equipment, get your gun, and go off to war. Now, the latest country to decide it will bomb ISIS over Syria is Germany. Germany stepped up its contribution to the fight in the against the Islamic State on Friday, with lawmakers overwhelmingly voting, as did Great Britain, in favor of sending reconnaissance jets, a tanker plane, and a frigate. So I'm starting to think, with all the countries flying jets over Syria, it's going to be busier airspace than LAX on a busy day. You know? How are they going to keep everybody separated? It's going to be pretty crazy. This is from the Internet. Flying humanoid over Indonesia may be Orangutan. That's what they call it, according to the Serious Universe. Now, that's a headline you don't really see every day, right? Flying human. Any follower of 14 news stories knows that flying humanoids aren't anything new, although they turn out to mostly be hoaxes. But there is an orangutan, you ask. Pretty much exactly what it sounds like, a legendary creature that is part orangutan, part bat, and part human. Question mark appropriately put after that, or maybe just a giant bat. Well, okay, so on an open lines Friday night, literally anything goes. No bad language, right? One call per show until the end. 2 drink minimum. Let me give you the numbers, and then I've got just a couple of more things that I want to get out here real quickly. Our public number, this is the one you're going to want to write down, right? And be really sure that you've got it right, is area code 952-225-5278. Once again, national number, good for all. Area code 952-225-5278. Whatever you've got to say, fair game. Now, we have a first-time caller line. If you have never called this program before, here it is. Area code 775-285-5800. That's 775-285-5800. And now I will establish a special line tonight. We're going to call it the Inhuman Encounter Line. Now, what I mean by that is those of you who have come face to face with something clearly not human. That could include anything. It could include grays. It could, all of them. Anything clearly not human. Now, that doesn't mean your dog or your cat, right? Or a cow down the street. We're looking for, obviously, something human-like but not human. Does that make sense? Probably not. I spoke to John Lear earlier tonight, and I would like to wish John Lear happy birthday, John. John is now 73 years old. So, hey, John, happy birthday. John said he wants to come on. He's got a lot he wants to tell us. He's not feeling real well these days, but it is his birthday. So he decided he's not tonight. Maybe next week. We'll sort of check on John next week, see how he is. But John Lear, 73 years old today. Let's see, there was something else. Yeah. I was really entranced with the Todd Robbins show the other night. I don't know how many of you heard Todd. But what an amazing man, just absolutely amazing. It's like one of those things I can't get out of my mind. So I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm saying I'm thinking about it. I've got a light bulb right here. I tried to show it briefly earlier on Periscope. Listen. Wait a minute. It's not going to tell you. There you go. My light bulb. You know what it says on top of it? It's hard to read because it's almost worn off, but it says 700 lumens, and above that it says, appropriately, hungry. Now, I'm fairly sure that Hungary is the country in which it was manufactured, but I'm not positive about that. The 700 lumens part, I am. I don't know what that equates to. Maybe 65 watts, something like that. Looks like about a 65-watt standard light bulb. And I figured this. Look, if Tony Robbins can eat a light bulb, why not me? I listened, and I've watched the video several times now, training myself. And obviously what you have to do is bite it right near the metal base, right? And then try and eat the rest of the thing, which is going to take a little bit of effort, but I think the base bite is going to be the hardest part. So, hear it? There it is. Maybe we'll get to that. I'm trying to work up the nerve, but when I saw printed on the top of it, hungry, I thought, yeah, baby, gotta do it. It's the right one. It's calling to me. It says hungry. Hungry? There should be a question mark after that. Hungry? Huh. All right. Anything goes, open lines. It's Friday night. Good luck to us all.
You think that people would have had enough of silly love song?
The clock strikes 12, and Midnight in the Desert is pounding packets your way on the Dark Matter Digital Network. To call the show, please direct your finger digits to dial 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952. Call Art.
Oh, man, every line is full except my special line. Now, come on. The Inhuman Encounter Line, you mean to say? We have no people out there that have encountered a gray or a scaly one or anybody who's had an inhuman encounter. This is a face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human. It could be, I don't know, a vampire, an alien, a hybrid, humanoid, any humanoid. Well, not any human, but humanoid. And she has, please don't eat the light bulb. Well, I don't know. I'm going to contemplate that. If he can do it, I can do it. All right, and the rest of the talk is you can get us on Skype tonight if you wish. If you're new to the program, Skype is the way to go if you get it right. So this is the master talk tonight. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, lesser, but still nice, you can download Skype. It's free, absolutely free. When you get it installed, become familiar with it. It's a free program, and you can call around the world with it. When you get into Skype, you add us as a contact. That's right. You actually add us as a contact, the little plus sign there. Push that and then put in, if you're in North America, MITD 51. MITD 51. If you're outside the country, outside North America, that is MITD 55. MITD 55. That's worldwide, and it's free. You could be other side of the planet and call us up free of charge. It's, what a deal, huh? So there's a lot of news. You can comment on the news if you wish. It's pretty dire. It was ISIS. We've got it here at home now. Or you can come and... Oh, wait, we do have somebody. Somebody who has encountered something non-human. Hello, you're on the air. First up, actually.
Thank you, Art. Good to hear your voice. This is Tim from Colby.
Hey, Tim.
And I just wanted to share one with you. I heard you said no one was calling on this line, so
yeah.
I'll tell you about a story that happened to me when I was about 15 years old. I was out driving around with a friend, and it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was his first car. And we get pulled over because we're swerving, and the cop checks us, makes sure that we're not drinking or anything.
Well, wait a minute. You're swerving. Why are you swerving?
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're in high school, so we were out late just goofing around.
All right. Well, sometimes you swerve for fun. I've done that.
Well, and, kids dorking around in a car, it's bound to happen. So,
I still do it as an adult. I'll press the gas and let go and press the gas and let go, and I'll say, oh, my God, our car is dying. My wife will look at me like, not again.
You don't still have that Geo Metro, do you?
No, but up until recently we did.
Okay, well, getting on with my story here.
They
told us to pull over, get some air, take a break.
Right.
We go to a local park that's out of the way, and there's a little creek area out there. We pull up and we find like 24 beers, and we don't touch them, but we go down by the creek just to stretch our legs and get some air. And
Wait a minute. 24 beers sitting all by themselves, just abandoned.
It's the end of harvest season around here, and I guess a farmer crew or someone has left them here at this park.
It's damn near a paranormal story already.
Well, the guy I was with wanted to scoop them up, but we figured if they were still there and the cops hadn't shown up to harass us again, we might. But we're walking down to this creek area, and there's some trees, and something just didn't feel right. We both got the feeling that we were being watched. And as time progressed, we, are starting to get a little closer, and we both swear we see a pair of eyes staring at us from a treetop.
Seriously?
And, and they were red. I know how much you like that.
Not at all. And from a treetop, even worse.
Well, and it was odd because they were further spaced apart than a human's head would allow. So whatever it was, either had eyes that were really far to the side or something. But we watched this thing jump from tree to tree. And when we saw that and we got a better view of whatever this thing was, it was fully humanoid in shape, but it made an impossible leap. It was probably about 20 feet from tree to tree. And, this is Kansas we're talking about here. We don't exactly have any apes or anything like that.
Yeah, could you get a sense of the size at this point?
I would say it was at least 6 foot and
wow,
long legs, long body structure. Looked like it was really muscular. We fled in terror. Didn't mess with the beers. Got in the car and just got the heck out of there.
Oh yeah, something like that could have absolutely prevented you from reaching full adulthood.
Oh, yeah, we were both fearful for our lives with that night.
Blame you.
We were driving, and this thing chased us. We went down a dirt road, and we were trying to get back to my house, and this thing chased us, airborne.
Oh, God. I thought the story was over and you were out. Now you're saying it's after you and it's airborne on top of everything else. And now it's
airborne, and it's muddy roads, and we're driving as fast as we can to get back to my house, trying to find some safe place. Looking out through the sunroof, we could see this thing dive bombing towards the vehicle. And it was scary. And a little 86 Mustang, I'll never forget, looking up through the sunroof while my friend drove and seeing this thing. And there's nothing we could do. The roads were completely muddy. If we stopped, we were stuck. we just had to stay the course and keep on driving and hope that this thing didn't run us off the road.
Well, that's incredible. At its closest point in dive bombing you, how close was it?
10 feet, 5 feet.
That's really close. Could you make out details, more details when it was that close?
It was really dark and we were really panicked. I couldn't make out. I thought it was smooth. I didn't see any sort of hair on it. But I couldn't make out any sort of colors. It was a dark night.
That is so freaky.
Yeah, and I found out later that site, there was, when they were excavating it to be a park,
yes,
they were finding burial skulls. It was an old Native American burial ground. So I'd kind of settled years later on thinking maybe this thing was some sort of a guardian.
Yeah, really sounded like a guardian to me. Eight shining red eyes and dive bombing at you and chasing you while you're driving.
Well, he could probably sense we were up to no good, so I'd take some solace with that.
Maybe with its beady red eyes, it looked down, saw the beers, and thought, man, these guys are going to get in such trouble. Here, let me just scare the you-know-what out of them.
Well, it's either that or maybe one of them for himself. It's hard to say.
All right, thank you very much for the call. That was a good, very good initiation of the Inhuman Encounter Line. Once again, those of you who have had some kind of face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human, that could include a lot, couldn't it? Let's go to, pronounce it for me, Isa? Isa. Hi, Isa.
Hi, Art.
Okay, you sound far away. Are you on a speakerphone?
No, can you hear me now?
Right, get closer, and you're in a vehicle of some kind, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're calling from Pahoa, Hawaii.
From Hawaii?
We love your show.
Thank you.
We just wanted to suggest a really good...
We're not going to allow people to put websites on the air. And I'm going to tell you why, because I was trying to be more liberal about it, but a few weeks ago somebody called up with a XXX website and put that on the air, and so, I know what you gave me is not XXX, but we're just going to initiate that policy.
Okay. Well, we love your show, and thank you for being back.
Well, how's everything in Hawaii?
Awesome. We have a dengue fever scare, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Where I lived in the Philippines, we went through that all the time. We got dengue bulletins, and dengue
I'm actually Filipino. I was born in Cebu.
Well, then you know.
Yes.
There's a lot of dengue over there, and there's really no treatment for dengue fever. They're talking about some kind of inoculation someday, but that's someday. Right now, if you get dengue, you either live or you die.
Oh, geez. I don't think it's that serious.
It is.
That's here isn't that bad, I hope.
Oh, listen, your white cell count goes berserko, and kids especially die from dengue. They do.
Oh, my gosh.
You didn't know that?
No. I thought it was just you got sick for, a short amount of time, and that was it. Unless you get all 4 strains, I don't think it's that serious, right?
Well, maybe the Hawaiian strain is less of a strain. I don't know. But I really do think it's dangerous no matter what. Dengue is bad stuff, so...
Well, that's bad news.
You got a lot... do you have a lot of mosquitoes in Hawaii now?
Yes, they're everywhere. It's impossible to not get bit by a mosquito.
Yeah, so every time you get bit...
Yeah. We're, in the middle of the jungle. So.
In the middle of the jungle.
Yes.
Cool. Well, thank you for the call.
Thank you.
Take care. Stay away from dengue. Bad stuff.
I know that you have, 'cause there's magic in my eyes. I can see for miles and miles. But do not touch. Phaedra is my name.
Midnight Dark Matter can be explored on Midnight in the Desert with Art Bell. If using Skype from your computer, please be sure to use a headset mic and call MITD 51. That's MITD 51.
That's right. Outside the country, MITD 55. Then we're on your contact list. You can push the button and call us free of charge from anywhere in the world. Just don't use the speaker mic, please. Don't do that. It's going to sound awful. Trying to do a lot of Skype education here. Again, happy birthday, John Lear, 73 years old today. Spoke to him earlier. He may be with us next week if he's feeling well for at least an hour, something like that. All right, my one line is open. That's the only one open. Nobody with the guts, huh? Nobody else with the guts. It is my Inhuman Encounter Line. That's what I'm calling it. It means that you have a story to relate about a face-to-face encounter you had with something clearly not human. If you have a story of that caliber, call me now at area code 575-208-7787. Again, 575-208-7787, the only line that's not filled at the moment. The first-time caller line is, though, you're on the air. Hi. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, oh, excellent. You made it to the phone.
Sorry, I had you on speaker waiting. I understand that you're doing the face-to-face with aliens or possible.
No, not necessarily aliens, something not human. Okay. I don't want to limit it to aliens.
Okay. I don't have that story tonight. Mine was going to be something about what I experienced, what I thought I had a death experience that was unusual. But
go ahead.
It's not.
Go ahead. Tell it.
It happened about 5 years ago, and during my sleep, I had been diagnosed with sleep apnea. Hadn't been using my machine.
Oh, yes.
I was back on the East Coast. And during my dream, I'm on a jet, and I'm looking out. There's no one on the jet. It's pure white outside the windows, like you might see if you're above the clouds. Mm-hmm. And I could actually see out the cockpit. It was open. And I went to get up, and a voice said, "Sit down, Dave." And I sat down, and the next thing it appears is that we just landed somewhere.
I'm just a little bit confused. You said
sure.
You were in a passenger seat, right?
Correct.
Well, you could see out the cockpit.
I could see out the cockpit as if the door was open. I saw no people, no pilots. Yeah. And the jet was moving, and the normal sounds you might hear seemed to be there, but not as dramatic, say.
Right.
And then when I saw the side, the door open, I got up again, and they said, "Dave, it's not your time." And I woke up, and I had never felt the feeling of complete relaxation, complete at peace. It was indescribable. I would love to experience that feeling again, but not if it's what I thought it was, which later, talking with a few people, said you probably died and came back. It wasn't your time.
Yes. Well, people with that problem, of course, can stop breathing and then spontaneously begin again, or because somebody up above said it's not your time, start your breathing. Anyway, very cool story. I wouldn't be so calm and collected when I looked up through the cockpit and saw no pilots. I would be really concerned at that point. I appreciate your call, sir.
Surreal.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you.
Right, thank you. It is what it is, right? But I just cannot imagine looking up, seeing the empty seats, and probably with the stick, kind of randomly moving back and forth. Or is that too much detail? Or maybe the altimeter spinning down. Anyway, let's go to Marie. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Where are you, Marie?
I am in Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
And I have been listening to your show since I was 9 years old.
And so now you're up and collecting Social Security, right?
No, I'm 32.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, everybody just cannot resist to say something to make me feel my age.
Yeah.
It's all right.
You sound perfectly. You sound like you did when you were back in the 90s.
Actually, I do, don't I? And even maybe a little better because the audio is much better.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, anyway, what's up?
Oh, not too much. Well, I had a strange experience when I was younger. I don't know if it had to do with UFOs or whatnot, but when I was 9 years old, I had an encounter with an alien. I thought it was all a dream until I woke up and there was blood on my arm.
Well, when you began the conversation, you said you didn't know whether it was an alien or not, and then you said when you were 9 it was an alien and there was blood on your arm.
Yeah.
So did the alien bite you or what happened?
I don't remember.
Was it your blood or the aliens?
It was my blood, most certainly, but when I woke up, I went, what is this? And I was standing, my bed was on one end of the room.
Right.
Window was on the other side. So I was standing out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very, very much for the call. And I guess there is no answer to what the alien did to you. I mean, were there any physical marks on your body or anything?
I couldn't remember. I was so young that I couldn't remember, Mr. Brow.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I appreciate the story. Thank you. What do you all make out of that? A little bit of a nosebleed, maybe, and a big imagination. I don't know. But she did say alien, didn't she? So anything goes. Friday nights. The rest of the week we do very serious guests, as you can tell. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If Fridays come, it's anything goes. Whatever you want to talk about is fair game. On our special line, somebody who met something eye to eye, face to face, you're on the air. Where are you calling from?
Would that be me you're talking to?
That would be you.
Oh, nice. I am calling from Lockport, New York. My name is Steve.
All right, Steve. For the education of all who plan to call this show, when I answer the phone, you will hear a little ding sound, and then you'll know that's me picking up the phone line. Did you hear that?
Yes, sir. That's why it had me curious.
Okay, well, that's the tip-off that you're on the air. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you. Tuesday morning, August 16th, 2011. I woke up next to my wife, laying in bed, rolled over on my back, and up in my ceiling, in what I'm going to call like a vortex, was a black square hole, and inside it, where the ceiling should have been about a foot and a half, was orange eyes. They never blinked. I could barely make out the outline. It looked like a head, and I know it was alien. It actually locked up my body. It lasted about 5 minutes, and I watched the eyes go away from me at that moment, and the blackness retreated, and the ceiling came back, and my body became unfroze, and I was able to get up. I yelled at it, told it never to come back, and then I realized what it was a couple minutes later, and I think I had an opportunity to possibly talk with a being from another planet, and I blew it. Maybe you can give me some insight on why or how these things are visiting us and why they're doing this.
Well, in this case, I sense that the being that you encountered was going to tell you, and just you, the secret of how to save the planet from complete, utter destruction. But as you mentioned, sir, you blew it.
Well, here's something to tinker, too. At that time, I had 2 artificial discs in my cervical spine.
Right.
I also possibly thought, like 6 months after that happened, that maybe there was something with these discs where maybe they were part of a government test. Maybe they were projecting something through my spinal cord into my brain.
That's quite a guess.
That's a feasible option or no?
Well, I'd go for no, but, your story is really good, and I can just imagine looking up to the ceiling where the ceiling should be. There's essentially a hole and a blackness and orange eyes. Yikes. I appreciate your call, sir.
Here's the funny thing. Now, I told this to my pain management doctor because I've been on Social Security disability.
I bet he cut down your dosage, right?
No. They told me the medicine that they had me on, which is painkillers, could not cause hallucinations. They had me whisked in for surgery, and those discs were removed that following November. I didn't even have to have a
So now you're putting the capper on it. You're saying, all right, so the doctor realized the discs did have something to do with your encounter and had them removed.
They took them out, and they fused my neck at those two locations. I told the pain management specialist this. It was my spinal surgeon who got the authorization and no time flat for the surgery after I had told them that it's pain management.
Completely incredible. All right, thank you very, very much for the call. And these are good uses of this line. Here I was concerned. It's the one special line we have open tonight, the Inhuman Encounter Line. Those of you who have had face-to-face encounters with something clearly not human. If that would be you, area code 575-208-7787. It started out so slowly I was worried, but now I see it filling quickly. Justin on Skype. Hello. Justin.
I'm from Ohio. I'm a first-time caller. I love your show. I just started listening since you came back.
Thank you. How did you, can I ask a question? How did you find out that we were back?
So I had TuneIn Radio on my phone, and I just looked up paranormal shows.
Right.
And I came across Coast to Coast AM, and then I saw your Dark Matter. I started listening to you, and I really loved your show.
So then you found the real paranormal.
Excuse me?
It doesn't matter. Anyway, what's up, Justin?
So I wanted to say something real quick, and then have a two-part question. And if we have time, I'd like to play a short clip of a song for you, if that's okay.
We'll see. Let's go with the question first.
Okay. So I was thinking, I think in the next 200 years, I think we may start moving towards a one-world government, and I think that we should. And I think we should do that. I think that would be good for peace. I think it's inevitable.
And you really think that will happen within 200 years?
Maybe more. I mean, you look at the European Union and what that's done for Europe after a lot of history of infighting between different countries.
Oh.
I think that one world government is going to happen sooner or later, and I think it could solve many conflicts. My two-part question is, do you think ISIS wants to draw us out into combat like what happened in...
Absolutely, without question, they want American troops on the ground, yes.
Because we saw that Iraq really sent our country into an economic depression, so maybe that's what they want. But on the other hand, do they want to divide Western countries so that they don't join into conflict against ISIS? Because that would, if Western countries were to join together, that might be moving towards that one world government.
Sir, I'm going to say this again. The center of their ideological world, and I'm not talking about all Muslims, I'm talking about ISIS, is to begin the end of the world, to bring about Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want.
Yeah. But I still see it as two separate things. Do they want to draw us out? Or because if they draw all the Western countries out together, then that would be going against their Armageddon because the world is against them. Actually,
sir, if you think about it, they're doing a pretty good job already. They've got Russia in there bombing the people who are trying to eject Assad, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in there bombing ISIS. Two very different objectives. But if they get Russian ground troops, American jets, Russian jets, all flying around in the same airspace, all walking and fighting on the same ground, eventually something really awful will probably happen.
Right. But ISIS is going after Russia, trying to draw Russia out, but at the same time, Turkey is a NATO nation, and there's a conflict between Turkey and Russia, so That's kind of two different things. I see that.
Well, not really. I mean, the end of any of this could be catastrophic. Could be World War III.
Yeah, that's a scary prospect for sure.
And so if that's what they're trying to bring about, they're on the right track so far.
Right. So, I mean, hopefully Russia can get in line and join up with us. I'm kind of scared to see how this Turkey-Russia thing plays out, because that could pit Russia against NATO and Western countries.
And not to forget, Russia just put in the new anti-aircraft missiles, the Mach 5 babies that'll hit anything, including any American plane flying.
Oh,
and if they should hit one of ours, you know, it could be the balloon goes up time.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, I'm not going to hang on for the music tonight, but I appreciate your call very much, and hope you'll call again. In the meantime, let us go to, we should take a regular call, and so here it is, and it's Kennewick, Washington, I think.
Actually, it's Spokane, Washington.
I just can't get it right, but I was close.
509 covers a huge area of Washington. I got a quick question. Well, I have a comment and a question. My first comment was, my first question was, have you ever heard of a 1950s experiment called the Mouse Utopia Project?
The Mouse what?
The Mouse Utopia Project.
No, I haven't.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's really interesting. Basically, they took like 24 mice, 12 females, 12 males, and this guy built this huge space for them where 3,000, it was basically a population experiment using mice. And there was some really fundamentally crazy things that happened in this space for the mice. But I don't really want to go into that. I really wanted to talk about what Loretta Lynch said today about going after people who, I guess, use anti-Muslim rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary proposition that the Attorney General is basically going to clamp down on free speech right after an Islamic Muslim attack on our soil. I just thought that was really weird.
Well, I don't know that they can do that because we have free speech, sir.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, who is she going to throw in jail first? I mean, we just had, all this anti-police rhetoric from the Black Lives Matter crew. Nothing was done. But when we were just attacked on our soil by radicalized Muslims.
Yes.
And for her to come out and be like, okay, well, I'm going to go after people who say anti-Muslim things, I assume maybe on social media, or I don't know where she's going to really go, where she's...
Well, then she should go after people saying anti-Christian things, anti-Jewish things, anti-blah, blah, 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 all of them things, right?
Yeah, it just blows my mind that you have the Attorney General of the United States say that.
Sir, yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate your call and your sentiment and thought, but ain't going to happen. We still have this thing, just barely, but we have this thing called a Constitution, right?
She's got something that moves my soul, and she knows I'd love to love her, but she lets me down every time, and make her mine. She's no one. By the little things I say, I can set a smile back on your face.
Midnight in the Desert doesn't screen calls. We trust you. But remember, the NSA, well, To call the show, please dial 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952-CALL ART.
I am Art. Art Bell. So you can call that number. That's the national number. Welcome, everybody. I noted the news at the top of the show. I know a lot of stations join here in the second hour. Why, I don't know. It seems like it should be hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, but it happens. So we know it was ISIS now, without question. She, the wife that is, sent out a Facebook message saying that she pledged her allegiance to the Islamic State at about 11 in the morning and then killed a lot of people along with her husband, who I think she probably was responsible for radicalizing, but that's just my guess. And so it's here in the homeland. But that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about Well, anything you want. This is your program. Friday night, it's all you. Whatever you want to talk about, fair game. I do have one special line. It is my Inhuman Encounter Line. Very productive, I might add, thus far. Those of you who have had a face-to-face encounter with something clearly not human. It would be area code 575-208-7787. 575-208-7787. Let us now go to that line and see what we can find. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you. Along with an
hi
echo
there.
of myself somehow. I'm getting myself. You don't have me on speaker, do you?
No, I did. I just turned it off.
Bless you. And let that be a lesson to all. Do not call with speakerphone. Sounds terrible. But now you sound great.
Oh, wonderful. Hey, it's my birthday, my 59th birthday, and my husband said, call Art tonight and tell him your story.
Okay.
So,
All right. It's also John Lear's 73rd birthday, so you two share that. So what is your story?
Yes. Well, I'm from Michigan originally. I now live in New Mexico. But when we were kids, we lived out on the farm many years ago, out in the middle of the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom always used to tell us kids, if we didn't behave, that, this monster would come and get us. Go to bed, be quiet. So we decided, let's go to bed, all of us kids. There were 6 of us.
Mm.
And we were poor, so we all slept in this big room, giant room together. And my oldest sister, there's 6 kids, so she goes up to shut the curtains this night. And I can already tell the story because it's hard. I've never told this story publicly to too many people. So, because I always thought people aren't going to believe this. So I watched my sister. The rest of us were just kind of watching her walk up to the window to close the curtains. As she puts her hands up to the curtains to draw the curtains closed, we saw what we thought was the devil. And it was just the scariest thing we could have ever imagined that we would ever see.
Well, describe it. What did it look like?
It was red-faced. It had, like, horns, big eyes,
right?
Large mouth, like claw-type hands coming around the window like he was trying to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And we just all saw this at the same time, and we just started screaming at the top of our lungs. And we ran down the stairs to my mom and dad. They were in the living room downstairs, and they didn't know what was wrong with us. They thought we were acting crazy. And, I don't know if they ever really believed us, but from that point forward, the only time we would talk about that would be when we were together as kids. And we all believed it. We never forgot it. And to this day, I'm 59 years old, we still believe we saw the devil looking at us in the window. My dad did run outside immediately to see if there was anything out there. And there was no ladder. There was nothing out there where somebody could have crawled. We were up on the 2nd floor. I forgot to tell you that. We were on the 2nd floor of this old farmhouse.
Oh. So maybe he came to collect a soul. Had you thought of that?
Yes. Yeah. And that's what scares us so bad. I would actually sleep for many years with my head under the blankets and under the covers. No matter how hot I would get, I would be so scared I didn't even want my head exposed. So we always kind of wondered why he was there, but that was something that crossed my mind when I got older. But as a child, I didn't know what he wanted. I just knew he was trying to get in.
Well, trust me, so it could get hotter. Behave. All right. Thank you so very much for the call. Tell your husband thank you for making you call.
I will tell him he's a Vietnam vet, so I will relay that to him.
All right. Thank you so very much. And there you have it. That's our special line, Inhuman Encounters Line, face-to-face with something, right? Clearly not human. If that happened to you, we want to hear from you as soon as possible. And on Skype, here comes somebody named Wolfman. Hello.
Hi, Art. It's Wolfman from the DM Talkers here.
DM Talkers, okay.
And shout out to them.
Yeah, they're a good group. Some nights they're just rotten to the core.
Oh, I know. But we're good at heart. It's just all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah, I know it is. I know.
And it's entertainment, too. Right?
Oh, I know. Why do you think I'm considering eating this light bulb?
Oh, my God, I can't believe you're really going to do that. I've seen someone do it when I was a kid, and I think it was that guy you had on the show.
Oh, yeah, Tony Robbins. Yeah, he ate a light bulb, and he's still around to talk about it. So, I watched his video several times. I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing.
Wow. Well, I guess it all comes out in your in one clump and everything kind of. Apparently, it goes through pretty easy, and I say go for it.
Really?
I wouldn't be too worried. I've seen other guys do it, so.
Really?
If you've been taught how to do it properly, I think you can do it.
Well, I've watched his video.
Well, okay. You could still do sound effects, and we.
So I'm self-taught.
Anyways, the last caller with that creature that she saw looking through the window, I've had a similar encounter. I was going to talk about something else, but I'm going to go on to this because when I was a kid, I seen a similar creatures, and my brothers and sisters saw it too. And we found out later that house was built on a native burial ground.
Really?
Yeah, and in the trees in the backyard, one time my brother and I saw the trees in the backyard actually form into a face with the leaves.
Mm.
Yeah, and it was a face of a native Indian, North American Indian person. And I was trying to talk to us, but we couldn't understand it, but we actually had the Catholic Church come in and do an exorcism on the property there.
Wow.
Did
they comment at all? Did they feel anything?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The priest, I went with the priest. This was my first time when I actually participated in the exorcism. So I still do. I actually went with the priest, and he taught me how to do it. I was asking him how to do it as we went through. So I learned how to do this. So I've done it for many people since then, and kids can sleep at night after I do my thing.
Well, there you have it. You watch, you learn, you do.
Okay, but the real story, and everyone wants to hear, is about the fireflies. And one time when I was at the farm, it's a tobacco farm on Lake Erie, and I was walking down the path towards an old graveyard. I went past it. These fireflies are following me around, and this has happened to me before. And I bring a staff with me out there because there's one area, so I went over there, and I banged my staff on the ground, and I said, "Show yourself, spirit of nature."
Show yourself?
And, show yourself, spirit of nature.
And?
Because I knew something was watching me.
Right.
Well, one single firefly came up to me, right up to my face, and then it blew up into a sphere. A 10-inch sphere of red glowing energy, like a ball of energy.
Oh, my God.
It scared the crap out of me.
Gotcha.
I think I bit off more than I can chew here. And I kind of just backed off. And I could feel the energy coming, and it was looking at me. I think it wanted to communicate with me. I was too scared, so I actually turned around and ran towards my brother's house. I kept looking back, and it stayed there. So it wasn't trying to attack me or anything, but that was the strangest thing that I've ever encountered. I've encountered a lot of strange things, but that one takes the cake.
Yeah, but nothing after that.
Oh, my gosh, Art, I've seen so many things. I could go on in a whole show about Lake Erie, the Lake Erie mysteries.
Firefly story was sufficient. Thank you very, very much, and take care. It would be pretty weird if fireflies just sort of followed you around. I mean, every time you look back, there's a little swarm of light sort of tailing away from you. Yeah, I suppose I'd eventually ask to. On our encounter line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hi, my name is Jason.
Oh, Jason, you sound terrible. You're on a cell phone, right?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on. If you want, I can try to switch to the actual phone. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah. Never call unless you're on an actual phone.
Do I sound better now?
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay.
See, let that be a lesson for all of you. Don't call me that way. You don't want to sound that way. You want to sound this way. Proceed.
Okay. Basically, I just want to say I'm a huge skeptic when it comes to ghosts, aliens, and all of that stuff.
Me too.
But I did have an experience, and I can't explain it.
Okay.
Basically, I'm an armored car guard, and we do ATM machines occasionally besides, regular store stuff. And me and my partner one day walked into a bank. We knew nobody was in there because the premise alarm was set. When we came in, it went off, and we had to disarm it. And I went to go do the ATMs. My partner had to use the restroom, which was upstairs on the second floor. I told him, go ahead, I'll go do the ATMs. Next thing I know, I hear, Jay, get over here quick. I go running upstairs, and he's got his gun drawn at the door of the bathroom. And I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, there's someone in the bathroom, and he won't identify himself. So I'm like, that's impossible. We disarmed the premise alarm. So he's like, I'm telling you, there was banging on the door. So I'm like, are you sure it wasn't just like plumbing or something? And he's like, no. And next thing I know, I see the door literally jumping on its hinges, and I hear bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, then I draw my weapon and point it at the door. And I'm like, whoever's in there, identify yourself. Are you a cleaning person? What's going on? Yeah, because occasionally you get cleaning people in the bank. And nothing. Next thing I know, bang, bang, bang again. And you can literally see the door, like, shaking on its hinges. So my partner keeps his gun at the door. I go downstairs. I call the police. The police come. I let them in. And they're telling me what's going on. And I'm like, look, the bathroom's locked. Somebody's in there. They won't come out. They won't identify themselves. So they're like, banging on the door. And they're like, whoever's in there, come out. And nobody comes out. Nobody does nothing. So, they're like, are you sure someone's in there? And we're like 100% sure. They were banging the door so hard it was shaking on the hinges.
Right.
So I could see the cops looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, I'm telling you, somebody's in there. The doors are locked. Right. These bathrooms are never locked.
Right.
And he's like, somebody probably just, key locked it. And I'm like, I'm telling you, these bathrooms are always open. They know we come in there and use them.
Right.
So they're like, well, we got to get permission from the bank to break the door down. So they get permission from the bank to break the door down.
Ooh.
And, they break the door down, and nobody's in there. And here's the kicker. They think we're crazy, right?
Right.
So we're like, looking at the bathroom's very small. It's like maybe like 5 by 8, so there's nowhere to hide in there.
Right.
And so we start walking down the stairs because, they have to, make us fill out a police report and everything.
Yeah.
We get about 4 steps down, and all of a sudden you hear, bang, bang, bang. And the police go running back upstairs, check the bathroom again, nobody's in there. Now they're looking at us like, how are we going to explain this? And I'm like, so you thought we were kidding? Something's going on here. And it wasn't plumbing. It wasn't, there was no leaks, no nothing.
Come on, it's not your job to explain. You did everything you could have possibly done, including calling the cops. So At this point, it's up to them.
Yep, so to this day, like I said, I'm a huge skeptic. I don't know if it was a paranormal event or what, but I'll tell you one thing. There's no way somebody was in that bathroom and then escaped, because the ceiling of that bathroom has an exhaust fan, which they gated and padlocked, and both things were secure.
I was going to ask you if there was any telltale sensory information that indicated somebody had been in there.
Yeah, there was no, like, the door itself had no dents in it on the inside, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If I had banged on the door that hard from the inside,
right,
I would have put dents in it. So how it didn't have dents, I do not know.
I don't
even
even
want
want
to. Door.
Yeah, I don't even want to think what it could have been.
I don't either, but I'll tell you what, I've ever since I was doing that branch, the days after that,
yes,
I would always check that bathroom before I even go to the ATM machines, just to make sure nobody was in there.
All right, sir. Whale of a tale, no question about it. Thank you. Wow. Yes, whatever it was. Can you imagine being in a stall? Anyway, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Let's go to Calvin. Hi, Calvin.
Hi, Art. Mr. Bell.
Yes, sir. Art's fine.
How's it going? My name is Dr. Carter. I'm a government scientist.
You are?
Neuroscientist, yes, sir.
Okay. Good to have you. What do you study?
Well, I study mainly treatments for neurological diseases, brain diseases, and big fan of your show. Been listening for a few years. I actually listen to you when I'm in the lab doing experiments.
Really?
Yeah, but one thing I wanted to touch on, I guess, in light of the recent events, was this whole concept of, because you hear, we have to bomb ISIS, we have to attack ISIS. And I listened to your show the other night where you had the open lines with the callers talking about guns and gun regulation.
Yes, they were correct.
A lot of the people were, for guns.
Yes.
It sounded like.
Yes, they were.
I still don't understand how you can try to defeat an ideology with weapons.
Oh, you can't.
Like
you can't.
And
Sir, you can't. I agree with you. You can't defeat ideology with weapons. You cannot do that. But what you can do is, if you're in a crowd of people that's getting shot up, you can avoid getting mowed down, like a defenseless animal.
Sure. I think part of the bigger problem, it's, they always say that Islam is a religion of peace.
Uh-huh.
And while that may be true for some, depending on the interpretation, if you look at the founder of these religions, if you're talking about Jesus Christ for Christianity, who was a pretty good role model. He preached peace, love to everyone, saw everyone equally.
Uh-huh.
And if you look at the other side, if you look at the Islam faith, which I have a great respect for, I know many people, and I love these people.
Most of Islam is just fine.
But if you look at the founder, he was a pretty radical guy. I mean, we're talking about a man who ran around killing women and children.
Come on. Think about this. Wait a minute. Hold on.
And had sex with another.
Hold on. Okay. Christianity was really radical too. And if you read the Bible even today, and you read what should be the punishment for homosexuality, and so forth and so on, you'll find that it was pretty darn barbaric. It depends on the reading you do, right?
Though that may be true, but again, if you look at the founder of Christianity, Jesus Christ, I think if you were gay or straight, black, white, rich, poor, it didn't matter. That's the founder, right? Everything that came after, when you're talking about the Crusades, the Dark Ages, everything after that, that's not Jesus. That's people interpreting the Bible for their own benefit.
Yeah, but I think probably you can do the same thing with Allah, and say the same things about Allah. I'm sure.
Well, as far as Muhammad, I think that's true. Well, as far as Muhammad, it is true. If you look in the Quran about he beheaded people. Yeah. This whole concept even of the hijab, the headgear, that's a sexist premise.
How about getting stoned to death? That's got to be rough.
Got to be rough. That's probably not.
So actually, what I think is that all religion. Listen to the song "Imagine" by John Lennon. Listen to that. I'm not saying all religion should be gone, because frankly, we Americans believe in the freedom of religion. But would it be a better planet without religion? Maybe. Or maybe if we were but one religion and we were not so radical about it, I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that most wars originate with religion. Most bad stuff that happens, it seems like, occur because of somebody's perversion of what they think their God says. I know that certainly all wars are preceded with people holding Bibles up as they march off to war, and or Qurans or whatever, right? So, religion's caused us a lot of trouble, frankly. To Anchorage, Alaska, we go. Hello.
Hey, Art.
Hey.
It's always a pleasure with the opportunity. So,
thank you.
I've been pondering this thing in San Bernardino, and they haven't released any of the names and what their job titles were. And a thought crossed my mind, and it's a little negative, but it portends of greater events coming. And here's my take now.
Do you mean the victims or the?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Victims.
Uh-huh.
And here's my take. When you look at child support, child protective services, divorce court, bunkered down bureaucratic installations, which we're now seeing, it could be the Taliban realize that there's so much discontent and unhappy Americans in trouble. And when you look at those institutions like the IRS and parking meter, they may be looking to tap new recruits by attacking those things. And the foundation for that reasoning would be, we get very little news out of what they actually do over there when they take over. But I heard somewhere they take out the government employees first. They convert them.
Mm-hmm.
So does this make you see what I'm coming from here? How could you be angry if you had to pay child support for 20 years, or your wife took your house, or the IRS took your... If you never engage these people, then you're living in an alternate awareness. But those people who've had engagements, they're very bitter. I'm talking very bitter. And I just wonder, because they chose such a specific crowd. In my opinion, it was a terrorist act.
Oh, clearly. Yes, at this point, I think, yes, it was. ISIS-inspired is my best guess. That's what I said Wednesday, and it would appear as though that certainly is what it was. Everybody wrote to me and said, oh, no, Art. This was nothing but a workplace thing. We've had so many of them. No, I said, probably ISIS-inspired, if not directed, but inspired. And I'm scared to death there will be more of it. I'm sorry to say. There will be people who are so disenfranchised, one way or the other, as that caller said. It's coming. No, correction. It's here. Outside the country, you're on the air. Larry, hello.
Hello.
Hey, Larry. Where are you?
How are you, Art? Well, that girl is her 59th birthday. She gets to call Art Bell. Me, I've been trying to call since 1998.
Where are you, Larry?
Niagara Falls, Canada, Art.
Larry, I have such bad news for you.
What's that?
Such bad news.
Oh, no, the wrong line?
Yes, Larry, wrong line.
I thought this is international.
It is outside of North America, Larry.
Oh, come on. Can I just tell you?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been trying to get through since 98, but, you break a rule like this and, it's a slippery slope, but go on.
Well, the other one didn't work on Skype. Okay. What I want you to elaborate, though, is two stories. Both of them were with you. Probably two of the greatest stories I've ever heard. Art, remember years ago when a woman called in on the line, and she was called in. She was driving through an intersection, and she was looking back at her kids, and as they were looking back, the husband was driving. Her kids were in the back seat.
Oh.
They were driving. They went through the intersection.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do.
And a car hit them.
Yes.
And as she looked back, she saw her kids in the back seat, and she saw the car going through them.
Yes.
You remember that story?
I do, yes.
And then as they went through, the husband stopped and skidded, pulled over, and that other car that went through them stopped as well, and then took off.
Yeah, I had a very recent call, sir, just like that. A little bit different, but just like it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's an incredible story. I can't believe it. I don't know what you would call that.
I'm not sure either, and so I don't call it anything except really strange.
Yeah, well, and then I guess you can throw a miracle in there, right?
Oh, you could.
And the other story I wanted to kind of elaborate, or maybe you could elaborate a little bit on, also with you, it was in the mountains in Tora Bora, and I don't know who was the caller that called in was relating the story that you had on. And it was more or less, I guess when they were looking for Bin Laden back then, just after 2002 or something, I think it was when the U.S. was up there.
We thought we were close to him then, yeah.
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 And so they were in so I guess some of the Marines went up, remember, into the caves.
I do.
They were looking for them into this one cave, and I think all of them, there was maybe 12 or something, I think the caller said, that went in, and they all died?
Actually, they heard radio traffic, if you recall. Listen, Larry, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go. I should not have taken that call. But because you've been trying so long, I slaughtered the rule. And so, once again, with Skype, here's the way it works, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in North America, that means Canada and the U.S., it's MITD51. If you're outside of North America, in the rest of the world, it's MITD 55. Now, there can be no exceptions, and you just heard me sort of make one. My light bulb. Coming up shortly, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. If Mr. Robbins can do it, I know I can do it. This thing actually looks delicious. Says hungry right on it. 700 lumens of hunger. Oh.
I'm justified when outside. Blazing chains in your eyes. Times change and I forget that. But these and I just can't hide it. And I know I want you.
This is Midnight in the Desert. To call the show, if you're east of midnight, call 1-952. Call Art. If you're west of midnight, call 1-952-225-5278.
Okay, you decide which number applies to you and give us a call. And, of course, on Skype, in North America and Canada, it's MITD51. And outside North America, it's MITD 55. So wherever you are in the world, you get us on your list of contacts, and just press it, and boom, you'll be right through to me, like that, sort of, if I can get to you quickly enough. All right, well, I've teased this long enough. Here it is. It's my light bulb, 65 watts, I'm guessing. I swear to you, it says 700 lumens. And it says hungry at the top. Looks like an average light bulb. Now, I did watch and by the way, if I was calling him Tony Robbins, it was only because I probably was thinking that Tony would be telling me how it would improve my life to eat a light bulb. Todd Robbins was our guy, and Wednesday he ate a light bulb on the air. And I thought, well, if he can do it, let me study that video. I can probably do it too. Don't any of you do it, because it requires intense study. I bet I watched that video 15 times. So, what you've got to do is bite it just above, according to the video, and I can see, the metal part, where the glass is. So that's probably where I'm going to start, with just one giant bite and see what happens. Oh. 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 Let me wash this down with a little plump well water. Your potato chips. So did you fall for it or not? I'm sure everybody will sit out there and say, not a chance, I didn't fall for it. Somebody had to fall for it. Sounded pretty good to me. Still have my light bulb. Don't light bulb. Sorry, I just couldn't resist. Let's go to Benton, Arkansas, I think, or something. Hello?
Yeah, it's Benton. This is Joseph in Benton. How you doing, Art?
So, what did you think? Did you think I was really eating a light bulb?
I don't know if you can see my speaker lighting up there, but I was begging you to stop. So, yeah, I fell for it. who would ever do anything like that.
Did that actually...
With all your listeners, no one's doing that right
Was the sound about right?
The first crunch, yeah.
Yeah, the first crunch. I knew that would be the one. I mean, after you've crunched a few times, you just don't get that same glassy sound. I don't eat light bulbs.
But anyways, I wanted to say, first off, that I know you get this a lot, but I finally found my mentor in life, you know, because I've been trying to do amateur radio my whole life. And I found the show when I was 33, so.
Really?
Which was just a couple months ago, man, and you're the best. You know.
Thank you so much. You know we're on WTWW shortwave. You know that?
In Arkansas? No. I was wondering what station you would be on out here.
Uh-huh.
But I don't have any stories as far as goes with my adult life, but when I was a kid, I saw all kinds of things. I was super afraid of the dark, and I kind of still am, to be honest with you. But I would stare at things. You know how you're a kid? I don't know if I'm the only one. I would stare at things, and those things would come to life, or I would imagine things, and they would be there, and I'll never forget those things. I don't remember my dreams today, but I remember those things. And so they would happen every night. And you remember when you were talking to that guy about, I forget the name of it, was talking about right when you fall asleep, you start having these visions, these crazy visions, between sleep and awake?
Okay. I don't, not so much crazy visions. I start thinking kind of chaotic, crazy thoughts. And sometimes I'll wake up a little bit and I'll say to myself, wow, I'm just about to go to sleep. And that's how I know I'm actually going to sleep. I start thinking these random nutty thoughts.
Well, it got so bad when I was a kid that I don't know what happened. I think someone helped me because I had a vision of me, just a brief moment vision of me laying on a table with these, I guess they're grays, I don't know what they are, around me. For like a brief second. I'll never forget it. And I woke up because I was used to fighting my sleep because I was afraid to fall asleep too. I mean, just full of anxiety. And I would stare at the wall, but I saw a shadow go across my window with some really lanky legs, like 2 pair of them. You know, I haven't seen anything my whole life, but I know that was real. And I kind of feel like maybe somebody came along, you know, that's from maybe, I don't know, another dimension to, I don't know, do something to me where I would quit doing that, you know, because it was getting real bad. My dad almost had to go see a shrink.
Your dad? You mean he would have taken you to see a shrink?
Yeah, and then I just told him, I said, I don't know what happened, but I don't see that stuff anymore, you know. And then to the guy before that was talking about the Muslims and, you know, religion, where you're talking about the world would be better without religion.
Well, it might be.
I mean, religion was designed as a doorway, and it's a clear mystery. And Jesus flat out told everybody that scribes and Pharisees were the harbingers of hell. That's the people that make religions, enforce them, write books. You're not going to get to the truth about who you are until you start studying it for yourself and read through the messages and the codes in all of the books. And you're either serving one force or the other. And right now, religion seems to be serving the dark side, it seems.
Well, that's not wholly fair. I mean, yes, it's getting all the press. When it bleeds, it leads. But you've got a point. Thank you very, very much for the call. I don't know. Would the world be better off without religion? It might. If people had a basic human understanding of right and wrong, which I believe we have, a basic understanding and compassion for others, which I believe we have, and if they just paid attention to all of that, we probably wouldn't need religion. Because most of the wars, frankly, are, you know, because of religion. Now, here's somebody on Skype who says their name is MyInfo. That's an odd name there. Info, are you there?
You're talking to me?
Who else is going to be called MyInfo?
I didn't know that was my Skype name.
It's your Skype name, yes.
Yeah, I was going to call your special line, but this man that I knew, he was more human than most people I've met in my life.
Okay, but we're looking for encounters with Inhuman.
Well, I'm going to use the pseudonym John.
All right.
And it'll be apparent why. We came to find out he was a clone.
A clone?
So I don't know if you classify that as human or not.
I'm sorry, if I want, you broke up a little.
Oh, if you would classify him as human or not.
A clone? No, I would say this qualifies.
But I would say that he had more humanity in him than most people I've met. I'll tell you that I am in the state of Idaho.
Idaho, sir, you are breaking up on us, and that's really a shame because I'd love to hear the story. What are you talking on?
I'm on my cell phone. I'm standing next to my Wi-Fi. Am I coming through clearer now?
You're talking into the phone, not the speaker. You don't have it on speakerphone, right?
No, I don't believe I do. Let me check to make sure.
Yeah, check that out, because that could be what's going on here. Never, never, never call us on a speakerphone. Make sure it's just set up like a regular phone. Well, I'm afraid he's pushed the wrong button. And gone away. There you are.
I'm not on speaker, so I guess it's just cutting out the way it is.
Yeah, okay. Well, stay close to the router.
Okay.
And we'll try it. Go ahead, keep going.
All right, so I went to high school with this kid, and growing up, he was nerdy, you know. He for a lack of a better word, he didn't have a lot of friends, and I was an athlete. I played sports, kind of more in the popular group, but he got picked on a lot, and I hated bullies growing up, and I befriended this kid, and we became really close. But there was something strange about him. He could solve science and math problems that my teachers had, no clue as to what he was even doing. Like, they didn't understand on the level that he did. And his parents, or who we believe his parents were at the time, were worked in the restaurant industry, and we couldn't figure out what where the science and math just genius came from, and we thought maybe it was just a gift he had. Well, we both.
You have a terrible cold, don't you?
I am a little sick. Yeah. But
anyway, so the bottom line to this.
Well, we ended up attending university together, and I don't want to give out any names or be specific.
I don't want you to. Yes.
Right. That university cloned a mule in 2003.
A mule?
Yes. It was called the Idaho Gem Project.
And you know this for sure?
The Idaho Gem Project, for sure, it's completely on the record. They've cloned a few mules. They actually raised them.
Cloning animals is a fairly well-known ability, but you're about to tell me that they cloned this person, right?
Well, what we came to find out was it wasn't they per se that cloned him. It was a member of, and like I said, I don't want to use names. It was a member of the team, the driving force behind it, the I guess the doctor who was the head of the program.
Just couldn't resist, huh?
Yes, and we figured this out through classes with him, and at first it was strange because he bears such a likeness to him, and we of course at that time we didn't think that we were dealing with a clone or anything like that.
Well, a clone would bear an exact resemblance.
Well, right, except for 30 years, 40 years younger.
Oh.
So, but they looked very similar.
I'd be all for this if you could, like, download your mind into the 30-year younger body, and then I'd be all for it.
Well, they were two separate individuals.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
So you're saying an illegal human cloning has been done, and you were a witness to it.
I was not witness to the cloning. I was only 5 years old when the cloning took place. I'm in my mid-20s now. Mm-hmm. My friend, unfortunately, passed away when he was 21. Of some rare cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But he made me promise that I would
never tell.
That I would
expose
tell.
Really?
That I would.
Well, then I see why you're on the radio then, but you're not giving us names and.
Well, right, and I could give you names, but I don't know that you would want me to do that.
Probably not. Now that I think it over, but I'll tell you what. Send me an email. Name names.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. I can kind of buy that. That there has been a human cloning. How about you? They clone animals, right? So could there be a human cloning? Yes, I really think so. I think it's entirely possible. All right, let's go back to the phone, and you are on the air. Welcome.
Hi, Art. How are you doing?
Very well, sir. Thank you.
Just before going on, I just wanted to express my condolences to Brian, who runs the Midnight in the Desert fan group. He lost his dog a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to send that out there for good vibes to him.
Okay, thank you for doing that. It's very sad. When you lose an animal, it's like losing a member of the family. I know all about it.
Absolutely, and he runs a great group, so I felt terrible for him. But I just have one quick correction and then one comment, if that's all right.
Sure.
For the Open Lights. About an hour ago, somebody called talking about the Attorney General wanting to, I think he said, prosecute anti-Muslim rhetoric.
That's right.
And just to be totally fair, that's not really true. What she said she wants to do is she wants to look into rhetoric that specifically is an incitement to violence and has the danger of causing imminent lawless action. And this is well within the government's right to regulate speech under Brandenburg versus Ohio, which is a seminal First Amendment case, and it really hasn't been challenged in 50 years. I just wanted to clear that up because I think giving half the story makes it seem like she wants to prosecute something more than the government's ever done when that's not the case.
Well, I just don't think it's going to fly anyway. I mean, you can pretty much in America say what you want to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there's something that are called fighting words. I get that. And I guess there's hate speech. I get that. But there's still this First Amendment saying you can say what you want. Now, there's consequences.
Sure, and nobody's saying that you can't say something, but I guess the issue is, for example, Brandenburg v. Ohio, the case that really established this test of imminent lawless danger, is came from Brandenburg. The defendant was part of the KKK, and what the case upheld is the right to prosecute if someone is inciting action that is, there has to be a high likelihood that it's going to cause somebody to cause harm to someone else. So if you're on a street and you have 50 people who have guns and you say,
oh yeah, I mean, look, there's a law against inciting to murder, right? Or
it's a similar idea, but yeah.
Yeah, similar. Okay, I get it.
And that's exactly what she was saying. It wasn't this broad, you can't say anything bad about Muslims, you can't say anything bad about Christians. It was, very specific and very narrow. And I think that it's just a mischaracterization to present it as this broad general thing, which is, like you said, that's an opposition to the First Amendment. It's an opposition to free speech.
Right. Well, I think that there should be laws then against disparagement or with any religion, that kind of, I mean, why make it just Muslim?
Yeah, no, and if somebody was to make an incitement to kill Christians, then that would be prosecuted. You know, you could prosecute that also. There would be an action against that as well.
One would think so, yes.
But then my other comment was, earlier today you talked about...
if you have another comment, hold on to it. We've got a break.
Read my mind, love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well in a castle dark. Well, it got to take the walls, make it blow away, blow away, blow away.
Midnight Matters are best handled by those that understand how to move in the darkness, like Art Bell. To call the show, please dial 1-952-CALL-ART. That's 1-952-225-5278.
So I got my producer on the line. She's hard to fool. So I said, haha, did you buy it? Truth. She responds, first bite, yeah. Then I realized you were pranking us. I said, it's only the first bite I cared about. She responded, I thought you'd finally flipped your cookie. Was dying laughing. Don't rule it out. One day I may give it a try. But not after studying some silly video. Hello there. You're back on the air again, sir.
Hi, thanks, Art. My last comment was, I know earlier you mentioned the recent news about women being able to go into various combat roles in the military.
Well, even be drafted. How about that?
Sure. I was wondering if you're familiar with the Women's Protection Unit in Rojava in, I guess, the Kurdistan territory. They're one of the more instrumental groups in fighting ISIS in the area.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't heard of them, there are plenty of videos online. You can look up YPJ.
I will do that. I have not heard of them, and I will check into it.
And I mention it just because I plan on, in about 6 or 7 months when I finish up school, I plan on going over to their country, their sort of pseudo-country, and helping them out in any way that I can.
All right.
I think it's important. And, yeah, I think they're a great example for what women can do in a military setting.
All right. When I bit down, did you think I bit into the bulb?
You know, between you and me, and I guess everybody listening, I happen to know how to eat a light bulb. So at the first second, I thought you did, but then after 6 seconds, when you said you were done, I knew you weren't.
All I cared about was that first bite. Thank you very much. They say the first bite is, well, I can't repeat that. Hello. You're on the air on my special line.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Art?
I had to ask that, didn't you? Why does everybody ask that?
I don't know.
It's just a normal human greeting, but I'm going to try to stop people from doing it somehow or another. I'm not sure how I'm going to accomplish that.
Sorry about that. Alrighty. Anyways, mine is back in April of 2005. The only reason I know that is because I had just gotten back from Iraq. So I hadn't seen my aunt in a while, and I was over there, and she was headed to the grocery store. So I figured I'd go over there because I was on leave, and my girlfriend was at work at the time.
Okay.
So we went to the grocery store, and we were in the dairy aisle, and I was looking for some creamer, and all of a sudden I heard this whimpering sound, like it was like a low pitch. I don't know, when you're real nervous, you hear this, maybe you make like a little squeak or something, but it was real long. And I turned around to see what it was, and it was my aunt. She was making this sound, and she was like starting to become really hysterical. And I asked her, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? And she couldn't speak at first, and finally she said, that man over there is staring at me, and he has the most sadistic look on his face. And I look over, there's absolutely no one over there.
Wow.
So she's starting to get really hysterical. So finally I'm like, I got to get her out of here. So I start walking her past the registers, and she is like crying hysterically. I'm like starting to get embarrassed, but I get her to the car. I look back, because she keeps crying. As soon as we got there, she just let out a big cry and said, "He's still looking at me," and all this. And I turn around, and this gives me chills. I saw this. It was a guy. He couldn't have been 5 foot tall, but he had the most grotesque face I'd ever seen in my life. But he had these, I don't know, I guess I would say.
This is when you're in the car with your aunt? Is that correct?
No, she is getting in the car, and I'm turning around to finally look.
Okay.
And I saw it.
Finally.
And this thing was disgusting, yes. And it nodded its head at me. I turned around. My aunt pulled out of the supermarket, left me there.
What?
I was so scared.
Your aunt after you help her out? Oh, my goodness. Then she leaves you in the parking lot with this grotesque, horrible thing?
Well, that's the thing. I look back at her because I had to have turned white. You know what I mean? Because I turned right back around because I was so scared. And then when I turned back, it was gone. And so I sat there thinking, there's no way this could have just happened. There's no way. I'm thinking, like, maybe it's PTSD, blah, blah, blah. But she saw this. You know what I mean? She's the one who got all scared at this. So
yeah.
I couldn't even get a hold of her.
So scared she squeaked.
She did. It was insane.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for the call. I love the part about her climbing in the car, turning the key on, and peeling out, leaving you to deal with this horrible, grotesque thing that causes people to squeak. Just bad, bad, bad. All right, folks. We're in the last hour here, so I guess let me recite the phone numbers. If you would like to join us, if you have had an inhuman encounter, then we have an Inhuman Encounter Line. That means those of you who have had at the very least, a face-to-face encounter, kind of like this man just described, with something clearly not human. If that's you, it's area code 575-208-7787. Area code 575-208-7787. And if you're a first-time caller to the program, it's area code 775-285-5800. Then, of course, Skype, MITD51 in North America. And remember, just talk directly into the phone, no speaker phones. If you doubt whether your Skype is working, there's this thing called the Skype Echo Server. You can talk into it and listen to how it comes back, and you'll know whether you're going to sound good before you call. So, there you have it. Let's go to the first-time caller line. You're on the air.
Art Bell.
Yes, indeed.
So many late nights working in the film industry. I'm an animation director. This is Larry over at Ghost Train Pictures.
Larry, are you on speakerphone?
For you.
Larry?
Yes.
Are you on speakerphone?
No, I am not.
What do you want?
I've got my headset on.
Your headset is not active or not working properly. You're on what, a laptop?
Yeah, I'm on my desktop.
Okay, so you don't have it actually engaged in Skype. Here's what you've got to do. Just put the mic away because it's not working anyway, and get close to the laptop because that's the microphone that's working.
Okay, is this any better?
No, actually, it's worse.
Hopefully, hold on a second. How about that?
It's really bad.
Gosh. Well, shoot. I'll try to make this fast.
Okay.
I was working in a production.
All right. What I'm going to ask you to do is what I've been telling everybody. I'm sincerely sorry, but it's just not good enough to be on the air. I may have made it worse, actually, by trying to have you repair it. So go to the Skype Echo server and say something and wait for it to come back, and you will see how you sound. And you can make improvements and test, and you can use that Echo server as frequently as you like until you sound really, really good. So we're going to, let's see, let's go to Iowa City, Iowa. Hello.
Oh, Art, I'm so glad you picked up, because if you'd waited another minute, I would have broken your 2-drink maximum.
That's all right. Well, welcome.
Well, thanks for taking my call. Before I say what I want to say, I did want to correct something a previous caller said about how they haven't released the names of the San Bernardino victims. They actually did today. As a matter of fact, NPR spent most of the day reading short bios throughout their programs of the victims.
Yeah, I know. Even CNN has been interviewing relatives of the victims, that sort of thing.
I see. Did they break into their houses too?
I beg your pardon? Did they break in?
Did they break into their houses too?
CNN and the media, that's not fair. They didn't break into that house. This guy who owns the building invited them in. It was. I wonder what has become of him, though. I mean, a black SUV whisked him up and took him away.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, the reason I'm calling, though, is I was wondering if you've heard a song called The Bottomless Hole by a band called the Hanson Family.
Can't say I have.
It's a trippy little alternative country song, but it's influenced by Mel's Hole. So I thought you might be interested in...
Well, of course I am. Can you send me a copy?
I probably could, yeah.
I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and call it Mel's Hole.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
That's the guy I'd love to interview is Mel. I think he's in Australia. Mel, if you can hear me, buddy, call.
The last show I had heard, he was in Australia.
Yeah, same here. I've actually gone back now, and I've interviewed the majority of the original Pretty Wild guests that I've interviewed. Mel is an exception, and I'd love to have the opportunity to, before he passes or I pass or whatever.
Have you had Riley Martin on? Would you consider having Riley Martin on again?
I would.
Yeah, I think he'd be fun.
I wonder what he's doing.
Well, he was doing a show on Howard Stern's radio station for a while about his experiences. And he had a huge falling out with him over money, but that was some good radio too.
Well, falling out, drama. Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. We'll look into Riley on our special line, face to face with something non-human. Hello.
Ardell.
Yes, ma'am.
It is Fontaine here. And I have been wanting to talk to you about this ever since you had your encounter with an inhuman being. Okay?
Well, you mean shadow person.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call it that. Okay?
All right.
It's the early 90s, and I had been practicing certain tantric yoga practices for about 2 years in order to try to cause a spiritual event in my life. It's called Kundalini Awakening.
Okay.
It's been studied for like 4,000 years by the Hindus, and they're really got a lot of writings on this, and I warn everybody, don't try this at home.
Okay.
Okay?
Like light bulbs.
Because it was, what?
I said like light bulbs, eating light bulbs.
Yeah, like light bulbs. And you had me going the whole time. I was like flinching, going, Art, no. But anyway.
That first bite was pretty good, huh? Sounded good.
It was really, hey, I was in it on the second and third bite, dude.
Oh, really? All right.
Anyway, okay.
Yes.
So back to the story. Okay, so I had been doing these practices, and I had gone to bed that evening, and I was laying in my bed on my side facing the doorway. And I was in that kind of relaxed place, kind of in between awake and asleep, and I suddenly perceived a being at my door. And I was told immediately, do not open your eyes or you will lose your mind.
Ooh.
Be still, do not move. And I did not let the fear of it override my reason. So I complied. The being approached my bed and started working on my body, leaning over me, and I could see through my eyelids. I could see that it was hooded.
What do you mean working on your body?
It was like if you could imagine a chiropractor, except with a quantum level of ability to permeate the tissues and do things.
Quantum. All right, quantum chiropractic.
There you go.
Yes, okay.
And I was terrified, but I just was determined I was not going to let the fear ruin the experience for me, and that's what I think might happen sometimes with people. Anyway, it seemed like a he. and I could see it through my eyelids. And it had a robe on. It was tall, dark. I couldn't really see the face. Thank God. Didn't want to. And it did things to my body that felt like it activated a battery pack at the bottom of my spine, and it was like 5 million orgasms going up your spine at one time. And the way
so this is not all bad. I mean, this is not terror.
I know. Listen, I'm telling you, it's the positive experience. That's what I've been wanting to tell you about. Okay, so it goes all the way up, and it's supposed to go up to the top of your head if you do it right. Well, because I'm a smoker, I had damage in my upper lungs, and the energy flowed into my heart chakra. And in Tibet, they call this, I have had since this happened, something called windhorse disease. And it's very hard to manage. It's due to some past life injuries I'm sure you don't want to hear about right now.
Thank you.
The point is that it came back for 3 consecutive nights. I mean, it did its thing, and I flinched. What happened was I flinched, and it went in through my heart and spread out through my upper chest.
Well, how do you know maybe it was a she and you've had a...
No, it felt like a he. I'm pretty good at reading stuff, and you have to be to do this stuff. And it was a he. And my impression...
I would not think less of you if it was a she.
Well, I know. But the thing I want to talk to you about is, the point I want to make is that, you're so funny. The point I want to make was that it seemed like it was a member of an ancient, it had never been human. There was an ancient being, very, very, I mean, like millions of years old maybe.
Which you could see through your closed eyelids, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sure could.
Right.
And it seemed like it was there, almost like it was returning an old favor, or maybe it had something to do with my ancestry. There was a link there between me and this being, but my impression was that it was a minion of the angel of death. And so when in your earlier calls, when you were talking about maybe that was death knocking at your door, which the calls have been excellent, as usual, but the impression I had was that this was called to me because my energy had gotten high enough that I got its attention, and it returned it gave me some kind of reward.
Well, obviously.
And
again and again and again.
Yeah, I played classical music, and the energy is still moving through my body, but it came back 3 nights in a row in different stages of sleep in different formats. But my message to you is, what if you had not had the fear response? Maybe you were having some kind of unknown physical event happening when you were working that night.
Well, that
one came to you.
So yeah, she could have could have missed out on the big one, the big O, right? Let's go to. I can't pronounce this. Can you pronounce your name for me?
Aaron Kasra.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually Max. I'm from Winnipeg, Canada.
Really, it's AARYNKASRA. You don't want to fool with something like that. Anyway, how you doing?
I'm good. It's an honor to talk to you. I've been listening to you for like 20 years. So yeah, I don't really have a question. I just called in because I just got Time Traveler subscription.
Oh, yes.
And they really recommend it, so I just wanted to say that to everyone.
It's so you can listen anytime you want to priceless nights like this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Where you can hear me again and again crunch on a potato chip and have everybody out there wince.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm really glad you didn't bite the bulb. I'm glad you're back.
Bite the bulb. Yeah, that's a way to put it. Yeah. So, any strange events in your life, sir? Save listening to the show?
Not really. Just trying to kill the night shift, which comes in handy.
It's really nice to have talk radio if you're at work and you're able to listen to it. Pretty cool way to go, I'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and thanks a lot for coming back. It's awesome that you're back on the air.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye.
See you later. All right, we're going to have a talk on the Fast Blast for the end, but not yet. I just want you all thinking about it. It's going to be only on the phone. I cannot do Fast Blast with Skype because people can never quickly enough get their, maybe I could. I think, though, that they would not get their devices turned down fast enough. So we'll hold it to phone for this week. Maybe I'll add Skype to Fast Blast next week. York, Pennsylvania, I believe it is. First-time caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Art.
Yes.
Great honor to talk to you.
Thank you. You've never called the show, huh?
I have not, but I've been listening to you for a long time.
Well, then, welcome. What's up?
Thank you. I have a story for you, but actually I wanted to know if anyone out there knows what I've experienced.
Well, wait, let me try. No, I can't pull it in. I tried. You're going to have to tell me.
I will. I had an experience when I was younger, and I'm not sure if it was a demon or shadow people, or just a ghost or an entity, but I've had this experience where at first it was knocking on the wall at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was neat at first, so I started knocking at it back. I started knocking back at it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then it got more intense. Like, I started seeing things, like, in my room when I would try to go to sleep. I would turn the lights off, and I would see, like dark shadows of people walking across my room. And I've been, like, physically hit, and I had an experience where it looked like television lights were on, but there was no television lights on. Like, you know how, like, when the television lights flash?
I do.
Like, you could see, like,
oh, yes,
like colors of changes of lights?
Yes.
But there was nothing in the room. So I just, like, stopped. And I, like, froze because I was so scared. I just froze. And I'm not sure what I experienced. But I had, like, someone, I was, like, sitting in a chair, like, on the couch. And I had, like, somebody sit down beside me where you could feel, like, the seat beside you was going down.
Yeah.
Do you know what that might have been?
No. I'm sorry, I don't have a clue. You can't call me with something like that. There was something beside me. It's like it went back, like it was laying back. What was that, Art? I have no idea. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. It was a great story, but if you were depending on me for information about what it was, you're definitely barking up the wrong tree. All right, let me try real quickly. Cynthia on Skype. Hello, Cynthia.
Hi. I have an experience with outer world being, I guess you could call it.
Okay.
I had a host guest, and I came out of the bathroom. She had put my coffee carafe in the microwave, and I yelled, "Get that out of there!" And she screamed. And I thought I had scared her, and then she said, there was a man standing over there. And I said, did he have blonde hair and white clothes? She said, yes. I said, oh, that's my guardian angel.
Okay. And that was indeed a guardian angel?
Yeah, I had met him before.
I've always wondered if guardian angels are even real.
I believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's other spirits that protect us, too.
Well, do you think that if, for example, I hate to say this, but let's say you're in a car speeding toward an intersection, and you go blowing through a stop sign, and another car is going to broadside you, do you think your guardian angel would step in and see to it that you invisibly just transform right through the car without harm?
That could very well be. In fact, I had an experience once where a guy ran a red light, and we should have collided, but somehow we have both managed, our cars had turned to avoid collision.
Yes.
and it was like really strange.
Mm-hmm. Well, guardian angels, huh? I wouldn't test that theory any more than I'd eat a light bulb, for real. Let's go to, I have no idea what this is. First time caller line, you're on the air.
Art Bell, this is Larry again.
Larry, you're only allowed to call once. That's an absolute...
No. You hung up on me earlier because my connection was bad.
Oh, over on Skype. That's right.
Boy, glad you didn't hang up on me.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm now on my cell phone.
Okay.
So this is my encounter story. I am an animation director, work in the film industry.
Right.
And thankfully have had you to keep me company for all these years. I was in India on a production, and this was about 2008, and I was at the very southern tip of India near a city called Trivandrum.
Right.
I had been by the ocean that evening, decided I was going to go home, stay at the nicest hotel there in Trivandrum called the Mascot Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So I fall asleep with the lights on around 12:30 a.m., and at approximately 2 in the morning, I wake up like someone had shoved me. And I thought, well, I just woke myself up. I kicked in my sleep. But I noticed I'd left the lights on in the television, so I sit up in bed, and I reach over to turn the lamp off, and there starts to be this brownout. In India, electricity sometimes is inconsistent.
I understand, yes.
That before.
Mm-hmm.
But when I reached for the light, it didn't feel like the light was just dimming. It felt like the light was getting sucked out of the room. And I suddenly became aware of this presence above me and just to the right, and I looked up. And imagine if you're in a swimming pool wearing a snorkel mask where everything's crystal clear, and someone were to pour a 5-gallon bucket of India ink down on top of you. Oh. This dark cloud comes down, and out of this cloud, 2 cloud-like tendrils drop out, and they seemed to touch my tongue. And at the moment they made contact, I wasn't able to move. And the closest thing I can describe this as is when I was a kid, I was 5 years old, and I stuck a key into an electrical outlet, and that electric charge where you can't move for a moment, that's what it felt like.
Right. Wow.
I couldn't move. So I tried to speak, and slowly, I didn't have to think about it, it just came out of my mouth. I said, "The Lord is holy." Just like, boom, had to get it out. And immediately, this dimensional presence, it flattened, like looking at an ink blot under a microscope between the 2 pieces of glass, and it slid away. It didn't go through the wall. It slid away from my being able to see it. And I jumped out of bed, and I didn't have any fear. I would have thought if someone told me this was going to happen, I'd be terrified.
So saying the Lord is holy saved you?
It absolutely did. And again, back to some of the other callers, what they were saying about religion, man, I'm right on board.
All right, well, you obviously are.
About that name.
Yeah, you obviously are right on board. Now, I've never met anybody who, at a moment like that, yelled something like, "Mickey Mouse is real." Probably wouldn't work. And if you're that scared, you probably wouldn't say that anyway, right? I'm Art Bell, and this is Midnight in the Heretical Desert.
Your tender kiss, don't leave me this way. Baby, my heart is full of love and desire for you.
Come on, men and women. Skype up. Call Midnight in the Desert at MITD 51. That's MITD 51.
That's right. That's the way to get through on Skype. And listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. About 10 minutes before the end of the show, we're going to begin doing what I call Fast Blast. And here's the way it's going to work. We're going to do it tonight only on the telephone. Telephone lines only. Therefore, prepare to jot down a number. I'm going to give them out here in a second. And when I answer the phone, I'm going to say you're on the air, and that's all I'm going to say. And you're going to hear a little ding sound. Then you're going to hear me say I'm on the air. Don't say, "How are you, Art?" Don't say, "Hi, Art." Just give me one sentence that's meaningful. All right? Don't say anything bad, because if you do, I will push the button on you, and then your sentence will not be heard by anybody. Do not give out a website. because we're not allowing websites to be given out anymore because of people who give out XXX websites. I don't want anybody misled into, well, heaven knows what, right? So those are the rules. One sentence. Say your sentence, whatever it is. Don't say, hi, Art. Don't say, how are you, Art? Don't even say Roswell's. Nothing. Just give me your sentence, one sentence. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds, and I'm going to move on to the next call. Now, all of that said, here are the numbers. The public number is area code 952-225-5278. Are you getting this? 952-225-5278. Keep dialing because we're going to move so fast that, once we begin, you'll get through. Then also you can use area code 575-208-7787. That is presently our creature line. Area code 575-208-7787. And finally, the first-time caller line is also available at area code 775-285-5800. One more time, 775-285-5800. And we're about 10 or 15 minutes away from that point. And when we get there, we're just going to go through lines like there's no tomorrow. Let's go to Denver and say, yo, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. I've never been on a radio show before, so I'm real nervous.
Oh, well, just relax. Okay. Take a deep breath.
Okay. I swear to you, this whole story is true.
Okay.
When I was a little kid, I was probably 6 or 7, so this would have been 76, 77. We lived in, my family's house, and we had just moved there a couple of years before that.
Mm-hmm.
I had friends and family that came over, and when we were kids, we would stay up late and we would watch things on TV. And several people saw this. Two of my cousins saw it, several of my friends, several of my sister's friends, my sister. When you were sitting on the couch in the den, you could see through the kitchen to the hallway that went down to the bedrooms. And we would see this white figure walk past that doorway.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it would ever do. And when me and my sister were asleep at night, or going to sleep at night, occasionally we would see it walk past. And it never did anything but that. And it was just this white figure, like the shape of a man, but it had no features. So one night, I'm laying in bed, and I used to be just terrified of the dark, And I'm laying in bed, and I would wake up at night, and I would call my dad for a glass of water. And I didn't really care if I got a glass of water or not. I was just scared. So I called my dad, and I'm like sitting up in the bed, and I'm like, Daddy. And the white thing walked past the door and stopped. And it had never done that before. And it turns around, and it looks at me, and I'm not at all scared. Okay, I should have been. If I saw this thing today, I would be terrified.
Okay, we're almost out of time here.
Okay. I'm sorry. It said, what do you want? And I said, I want my daddy. And he said, why? And I said, because I want a glass of water. And then he started talking to me, and I don't remember what he said. And then the next thing I know, I'm screaming. And my dad comes down the hall with a shotgun. And then my mom is in the room with me crying her eyes out, hugging me.
Yikes.
And the best way I can describe it is it glowed. It was white, and it had a glow to it. And it almost looked like the texture of like when you look at the moon. And my parents would never talk about it. And 10 years ago, before my dad died, I asked him about that night. And he told me the rest of the story. And I don't know if we got time for that or not. But
actually, we don't. It's got to be real fast. What was it?
Okay. Well, he said that they were laying in bed, and he woke up, and he could hear my mom crying. And then he was, like, laying on his back, which he doesn't normally lay on his back.
10 seconds, sir.
He looked over, she's crying, he couldn't move, she couldn't move, and there were these figures standing around him. And he heard somebody talking to me, And then all of a sudden, I started screaming, everything disappeared, and then he ran and got his gun and came in there. That's the whole story.
All right. Thank you very much for wrapping it up. All right. We are now going to engage Fast Blast. All of the numbers that I gave you are now operational. So when I punch that button, I want you to give me about one sentence that's very important and stop there, because that's all the time we've got. And here we go. You're on the air.
God, please bless the earth.
Indeed. Very well done. Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
I once had an encounter with an Inhuman. He happens to come on after you.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. Only 7% of all historical wars are fought in the name of religion. I just wanted to correct you on that.
Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, Art. There's a new story in Canada about their drinking water being laced with moose DNA to create moose.
Wait a minute. Laced with what?
The water is laced with moose DNA in an effort to create moose hybrids. That's all.
Okay. I thought I heard that. I wasn't sure. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Art.
Hello.
Hey, this is Jesse out here in Vancouver, Washington.
Okay, you're not supposed to say all that. Just give me a sentence of importance.
Okay, I saw something inhuman. I want to tell you about it.
Okay, next time. Hello, you're on the air.
Eating a light bulb with no filling. Ugh.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Matt, the Dungeons and Dragons guy. I found a girl, and she likes to wear elf ears for me, so that's pretty cool, right?
That's way cool, sir. Hello, you're on the air.
If you're not comfortable in your own skin, you're probably just hanging out with the wrong people.
Thank you. You're on the air. Hello. Oh, I didn't. Well, no, you are there. Hello. Going once, going twice. Yes?
Hello. Oh, I listen every night. Love your show.
Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
If you burp, fart, and sneeze at the same time, you will die.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, how's it going?
You're not supposed to say that. Do you have an important sentence for me?
No.
Okay, well, thank you then. Hello, you're on the air. No? Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, I just wanted to say before you go to bed tonight, everybody just go, phew, shout out to DM Talk on Twitter.
That's right. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, I just wanted to tell you that you're my fiance's third favorite person in the world.
I'll have to figure out how I feel about that. You're on the air. Hello.
Shout out from the Midnight Riders. Anything from John Teeter.
Oh, that's the way to do it. Nothing from John, but good shout out there, buddy. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, could you explain for the new listeners your past feelings about callers named Steve?
Not in Past Blast. Hello, you're on the air.
Hi, DM Talk loves you, and we just want you to know that you're the best.
Thank you, DM Talk. Sometimes loves me, sometimes hates me, but that's life. Hello, you're on the air.
All right, you got to get Linda Moulton Howe on your show to talk about Fukushima.
Fukushima? I had to bleep that out. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, oh, shit, I don't know what to say. Thank you for coming back on the air. You're amazing. I love your show. Thank you.
That's very kind. Thank you. You're on the air now. Hello.
Hey, Art, Star Wars The Force Awakens next week in Hollywood. Jedi Miller, hello.
Next week, huh? All right. Hi, you're on the air.
I've seen a were-rabbit. It's Wolfman Mike again from Shoutout DM Talk.
All right, a lot of people up there, I guess. You're on the air. Hello. Going once, going twice, gone.
Evil came to me when I was 4 years old.
Really? All right. Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
JC, I summon you.
That might work. Hello, you're on the air.
My prayers go out to all people in San Bernardino.
Me too. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, I just wanted to give you kudos and praise for pulling the trigger. I'm sorry you're not a better shot.
I didn't pull the trigger. I got close. Hello, you're on the air.
Jet fuel
can't melt steel beams.
You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, 2.8 million species on the planet. Not a single one of them eats money, including you. Let's make America great again.
We don't need money, huh? Okay, thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
Thank you, Art. I just want everyone that can hear me to pray for me to have an awesome day tomorrow. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have an awesome day, dude. Hi, you're on the air.
Why do you always sound like David Brinkley, Art?
Dude, you really think so? You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, watch the initial version of The Manchurian Candidate with Frank Sinatra. Incredible movie. Watch the first 15 minutes and pay attention to the bibliography of the brain control that they should talk about.
Thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, Art. You need to have John Cusack as a guest.
John Cusack. Look into it, all right? Thank you. You're on the air. Hello.
Watch the free online video titled, We Need to Talk About Sandy Hook.
Okay, thank you. You're on the air. Hello.
A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush.
Oh, we all know that. You're on the air. Hello.
You need to learn about Islam from Dr. Bill Warner.
Okay, well, there you go. On the air, you are. Go ahead.
1 second count. The police are only minutes away.
Yeah, I hope so. You're on the air. Hello.
I fell down the rabbit hole and I came out on Earth.
Good night. Yeah, good night. You're on the air. Hello. Hello.
Mr. Bell.
Yes.
How dare you?
I do dare. How dare you? Hello, you're on the air.
God came to me when I was 4 years old as well.
And you're on the air. Hello.
ALMAO. Remove kebab.
All right. You're on the air. Hello. Hey, well, that gets bleeped. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Art.
Yes.
Hello. If you eat kettle chips, it makes your glass sound more glassier.
Oh, should have told me that
I'm sorry.
Earlier. Thank you. You're on the air. Hello.
I saw shadow people in Afghanistan, and I see them in the house, too.
I bet they're everywhere, actually. You're on the air. Hello.
I want you to have Willie Nelson on again.
I would love to have Willie Nelson on again. Thank you. You're on the air. Hello.
Please have someone make your books into an audiobook on Audible, please.
It's already been done. I've got an audiobook. You didn't know that?
On Audible?
An Audible audiobook. Well, what other kind of audiobook would there be? You're on the air. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Going once, going twice. Oops, too late. You gotta be fast. Come on, folks. This is Fast Blast, so you gotta get right on it. You're on the air. Hello.
Art.
Yes.
Trump 16, baby. Let's make America great again.
Oh, that'll be interesting to see. Hello, you're on the air.
What doesn't kill us makes us stronger or insane.
Is that a political comment?
No, just a personal belief.
I couldn't resist, sorry. Hello, you're on the air.
Turkish Star Wars is the most bizarre movie I've ever seen.
Turkish Star Wars. Yeah, it's kind of like that over there. And if any other nations join, they're going to need the force. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, you just had what? Your crazy guy came on the air and you cut him off.
I did. Everybody gets cut off. You get 10 seconds. Hi, you're on the air.
You give me a heart attack, you owe me a big favor.
I don't want to do that. No heart attacks. But it was a pretty cool stunt anyway. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, my name is Jake. I'm from Scottsdale, Oregon.
Oh, hey, Jake. What can I do for you? 3,
Well,
2,
I've been hearing some pretty
1.
interesting...
Hello, you're on the air. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, Art, Blues Image thinks you're great, man. Keep playing Ride, Captain Ride. Thanks, buddy.
All right, thank you. Hi, you're on the air. Hello? No? Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, I love the show that you did when people were telling lies and you had judges.
Oh, we'll do that again. Really truth or trash. You're on the air. Hello.
Art, play some Freebird to play us out tonight. Freebird rock!
Been a long time since I've heard that. You're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Is it me?
Is you.
Okay, all right, good.
I think it's pretty scary. Last week during Fast Blast, someone predicted a terrorist attack.
Yeah, that might be true. You're on the air. Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Gas is only good if you could pass it.
Yeah, well, that's right. Okay. Thank you very much. Hello, you're on the air.
Enter Sandman.
You're on the air. Hello.
Iowa Hawkeyes, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Beat Michigan State tomorrow, boys.
Okay, thank you. Hello, you're on the air.
15 minutes of creativity can inspire a year.
Yep. You're on the air. Hello.
Bill, Rick, the Vegas cat here. So glad you blow George Norrie out of the water.
Well, thank you for the opinion. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi, most of your callers are idiots, and I think that guns need to be taken out of the whole world.
You really think all guns well, you need to call again. We need to have a talk. Hello, you're on the air.
My cat's breast was like cat food.
Mm-hmm. You're on the air. Hello. Hello. Hello, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
No? Hello, you're on the air.
Art?
Yes.
Art, I got a quick understanding that I've been working on for years, but it explains quantum entanglement, explains the double split experiment.
Okay, well, there's not enough time for that. Hello, you're on the air.
Art, thanks for coming back. This country needed to hear your voice.
Take care, buddy. You're on the air, and I'm about out of time. Hello.
Hey, LMAO. Hey, LMAO.
Over the limit. You're on the air. Hello.
Art, I love you. Roswell's to you, baby.
Thank you.
Infowars.com.
You're on the air. Hello.
I love the show. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And tell the world good night.
Good night.
Good night, world. Come on.
Good night, world.
That's the way to do it. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll do it again. Everybody have a great weekend, all right? Bye-bye.